Battery low, please start engine. Another final mix, just make sure we've got no lumps in the bottom. This afternoon, I'm off to Britfest. I can see what Clarkson has a problem with now, working with Kaleb. You don't know who top loader is.
Don't think it's me being lazy, never being here helping him. I'm at other jobs while he cracks on.
To be honest, I could get on better with this without him, to be fair. Just going to make some tabs. These are going to weld onto the rafters, and then the wind brace will go diagonally between a pair of rafters to hold it all firm. So I just need to get a big hole through this thick plate that'll hold the wind brace on. So we've got using the mag drill, it's really handy. Once you get over sort of 15 or 16 mil, the pillar drill's a bit of a pain, and the mag drill's really good at cutting them out. Just got to put a bit of oil on it as we go, just to keep the bit lubricated. I'll just switch the electromagnet off. As you tip it over, you can see inside there for you. You see like the hollow-ended drill bit? The little sprung-loaded plunger. It just pushes out like a little core. So it doesn't take all the metal away, it's like a big hole saw. Then when it's in position, hit the electromagnet, and that's locked to the steel. So we can use that up in the air as well, which is really handy. So it leaves a little bit of a burr on there. Yeah, quick flash over there with the grinder, just taking the sharp, nasty edges off it. So we can just slice those now on the bandsaw. Get this steel plate lined up now. You just slice that off. Much easier to drill the holes first. Well, I've got a big piece of plate that I can clamp to the works bench. See, we've got coolant coming through here. That's just lubricating and keeping the blade cool. Gives a lovely, neat, straight cut. That's got them cut out pretty quick. Nice and neat. I was watching Tom Lamb the other night, and he's got that lovely plasma table now. It's a Swiftcut or something. I love one of those. You can imagine if you were doing a lot of these, we could set a machine up, put a piece of plate on the bed of one of those plasma tables, and it cut out the tab we want and the hole. We could program to do everything. So if we were doing a heck of a lot of fabrication and needed lots of repeatable parts like that, that'd be fantastic. One day, I'd love to get one. Oliver's learning SolidWorks. He's self-teaching himself. Got that program for him. I'm doing a bit of it at school. Really fancy the engineering route. So if he gets really good at SolidWorks, then he can be drawing all the things we want. We're going to export that into a plasma table and cut the bits out. But what I'll try and do now is lodge the end of this wind brace up here, lodge it up at that end, and I can get a bolt in over there and get this end lined up, strapped into position. That tang that I've just made bolted onto it, into the right place, grind out and weld the tang then into that steel. This is going to be a bit of a tricky one. So that end's bolted in now. Just got to prep the steel here, grind that paint back, get the tang in the right place, and we can get that welded on. We've got the spirit level on it, and we know that the frame's all sat vertically and have eyed up between the stanchions, and that's all looking bang on. So I'm happy that it's all square. It's gone up well. This is where getting those foundations correct, everything lined up from the outset, makes it really, with the bolt boxes, makes it really easy. When everything's set well from the start, you're not fighting against it. So I've just got that metal cleaned off now, the paint off it, a place for the earth. Just using this little inverter, little smart weld, 160 amp inverter welder. It's really handy for, you can run it off a fairly long extension lead. I've seen you can get battery ones now that run off DeWalt batteries. That'd be so handy for this job, where you've got running cables all over the place. That battery one, just welding little bits like this, would be fantastic, but yeah, maybe one day. Right, we'll just try and get this welded up. I don't know if you're able to see this or not. Might see a flash of blue if nothing else. Fan's making a bit of a funny noise. So I've got that other wind brace in now, welded that tab up onto the rafter up here. So I've got both those in, so that's dead good. Just started putting in some more timber purlins now. Telehandler's up there. It won't start again. Some of you might have seen the a previous video we did where we had a big issue with the JC beam. It was all lead and either, and we ended up putting a new one of these sticks in. It wasn't seeming to get a contact in the neutral position. Anyway, now I come to start it, up in the air, won't start at all. So I thought, God, it's a new stick. I can't think that's gone, but I'm a bit of a loss with the electronics on these things. So I rang up Chris Beard. He was the chap, dead good, does JCB parts. We had the new mud guards off him and that new stick, dead helpful. So I just gave him a quick ring. So Chris, I don't know whether the stick's gone faulty or not. He said, well, he talked me through a few things on the phone. He said, no, it doesn't sound like the stick's gone faulty. But you know, we can sort it if it is, whatever. He said, just try this. So just talked me through the relays, pulled out a couple of the micro relays, his suggestion, swap them over one of the light ones, which, you know, where we know the lights are working, and try it. So we'll give it a whirl. It works. Now, I'm not suggesting you just ring Chris Beard up just to monitor him for advice of what's gone wrong with your machine, but if you generally are needing parts and bits and bobs for your JCB, your telehandler, whatever, Chris Beard's the bloke. He's the don of these machines, that's for sure. So thanks again, Chris, who pulled us out of it yet again. I can get on with these now. Paul's turned up off a job now, so it's making it a lot easier. We have to go up and down ladders. He can just lift me up and move me around, speed the job up no end. I'm going to bang some more rafters up on this middle bay. Oh, Paul getting back in his hands really helped. Sped the job up a lot. We've got all those rafters in now. Just got to work on the eaves beam and the sort of side rail supports there, and then I can get those in over the next day or so. And we get the roof sheets ordered. So that's great. Good progress on the shed. Hope you've enjoyed the last couple of episodes where we've been working on this. Latest fiasco. So I've just come now to move my Land Rover and I've had the boot open all day, getting tools in and out, and that's flattened the battery. I thought the interior lights would go off on their own. Just have to get the 185, hook that up. The batteries are under the seats in these like they were in the old ones, except these got electric seats, so you can't operate the electric seats if there's no battery. So, anyway, I have just worked out that there is some little points here where you can put jump leads on, so at least they thought of that. It's telling me the bonnet's open. Please tell me that you can... battery low, please start engine. Please tell me that we can start it with the bonnet open, because I can't get the jump leads in there without the bonnet being open. I can't really hear if it's trying because the tractor's revving. That's a relief. We have power. John Deere to the rescue. Looks like we can get a new battery in this then. Didn't think it'll last very long. These stop-start things, I think we just destroy batteries. What a pain in the neck. Anyway, at least it's running. Right, so I've got these big fixings. Damn great fixings. And I've put a packer in under here now, between this rail. So we're just going to whiz this up through here. Try and get that straight. So you can see now I've just put these packers in, the same distance as the gap at the end. What that's done is just pulling this rail up and taking the bow out of this with by the strength of that 9x3 going in that direction. So that'll hold this rail really, really good and level across here, horizontal across here. So we won't get any sag on the sideboards because it's got the strength from here. And then this one being on that plane means that it's taking the bow out of this one, which wants to deflect that way. So by using those two in those different planes, hopefully it'll hold this side really good for the roof sheet and for the side cladding. Doubling up on quite a lot of timber here than if we've got this in the same plane as the front of the shed, but such is the brackets that were fabricated on this frame that we bought. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And the savings we've made on second-hand frame versus extra bit of wood down the eaves is inconsequential, really. So just get the bolts tightened up on the end of these. I'm just going to run this down now around the whole shed like that, and we're getting closer to ready for getting the roof sheets. Right, what we're going to do now is let's clean this bucket. We're going to grout in the bottom of the stanchions. Obviously where the cones, where we've got those cones, the bolt boxes, we want to fill all the voids up underneath there and underneath where we've packed up the steels. So we're just going to mix some grout now, just using cement and water. I've just been up to the builders merchants to try and get a whisk for the drill, but all our big drills are SDS. And really annoyingly, we've only got one to go to 3-jaw chuck, and we haven't got a big powerful drill on a chuck anymore, they're all on SDS. I have looked to see if there's different grouts on the market, especially for this, and I've always come up short in the local builders merchants. So, just using straight cement. I mean, it seems to run in all right and it just sets and fills the voids. A mixer on the drill would be really good because you definitely get no lumps in it then. A bit like baking, really. You're putting flour in, you don't go too much at once, otherwise it becomes difficult to mix. It's kind of like the consistency of about single cream, I guess. Something that's easy enough to pour, but there's enough solids in there that it'll fill up those voids. Right, so you see here that Luke's just put this like little bund of sand round. So he's using sand as a former, just so it creates that area that we can pour the grout into. It can run underneath the steel into where those cones are and just fill all that up. And that stops the shed walking. You imagine those 4 bolts at the moment are in the cones. You know, as we put a loading shovel against it or something like that, those steels could move, or those bolts could move within the cones. So by filling that up first, that makes it really solid, fills the void underneath the stanchion, and then afterwards we'll brush the sand away, and then we'll pour more concrete just over the top of here to lock it into the foundation. It's another final mix, just make sure we've got no lumps in the bottom. These flexi tubs are quite good because they're sort of quite easy to pour out of. Now we should just be able to pour that and that'll run down into those cones. We're just going to fill that up until, yeah. What it's doing, if you can see, I don't know if we can notice on that side, the water's displacing some water under the cones because of the, we've had a bit of rain. And this stuff's heavier, so it's just displacing that. So all those solids should just go into the bottom, all being well. And it's pushed the water out. Take a bit more in around here. That'll do. So that's going to fill all them cones up, fill all that void up. Over the next few days, that'll just stiffen up. Job's a good one. So we've, Luke's just going to go around the rest of the shed now, and we'll do the same around each stanchion. This afternoon, I'm off to Britfest, which sounds a little bit like a music festival that Nigel Farage has organised, but I'm sure it isn't. And I think Chesney Hawkes, remember him? Do you remember Chesney Hawkes, Luke?
Recognise the name?
Oh, these kids. Top loader. No.
When was he around?
I can see what Clarkson has a problem with now, working with Kaleb. You don't know who Top loader is? Chesney Hawkes. What about Boo Radley's?
Yeah. When were they?
This is the 90s, Luke.
I was born in the 90s.
You were born mid-90s? Yeah, but they must have still been playing this stuff on the radio when you were like in your teens, no? Razorlight, they're playing.
I know Razorlight. Yeah.
You know Razorlight?
Everyone knows Razorlight.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so that's what I've got to look forward to later this afternoon and this evening. So Luke's going to crack on with that. I'm going to go into a field somewhere and reminisce about being young and youthful with another load of middle-aged people probably, because it doesn't sound like people in the 20s like Luke are going to be about there, because none of them have heard of half the bands. Yeah, so back on the shed build. Luke's done a cracking job down here on Friday afternoon. I ducked off early to go to Britfest. That's been held on Tatton Estates. Nice little bit of a diversification on the farm over there. Got a little music festival going on, which was really good. Met Jenny Powell. I'm not entirely sure that she recognised who I am, or whether or not she watches any YouTube farming content. But she had a selfie with us anyway, so no idea. Maybe she does. Maybe Jenny does do farming. Jenny, if you're watching this, do you watch farming content? Don't know. Anyway, that was good fun. So yeah, we met Jenny. That was a good laugh. Back to the shed. So yeah, Luke was doing this when I left him on Friday afternoon. Done a great job. So he's grouted in now all round the bottom of these stanchions. So making that sort of cement slurry. So it's set rock hard, and it's gone underneath where we'd got the stanchions just packed up to the right height, filled those cones in, so that stops any lateral movement now for the shed stanchions within those cones. So dead pleased he's got those done. Next job on those will be, I don't know, a week or so's time. We'll just fill over the top where these stanchion holes, lower than the main sub base. We'll just splodge a pour of concrete over the top of those to really lock them in place. So he's done that all around the shed, so that's great. Paul's here now.
Morning.
It's going to give us a bit of a lift with this. Much easier being lifted up in the man cage and safer than having to work off a ladder. So he's going to lift us up now, and we're going to try and run some of this eave detail in down this other side. That'll allow us then to get the measurement for the roof sheets, so we can get those cut and done exactly to the right length.
Don't think it's me being lazy, never being here helping him. I'm at other jobs while he cracks on.
To be honest, I can get on better with this without him, to be fair.